presentation, there it goes. After Kimberly's presentation, there will be a Q&A segment. Several of you have actually put in questions when you did your RSVP. So we took all those questions and Kimberly will be answering those after she does a presentation. I will be asking those questions on your behalf. So I guess without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Kimberly.
All right. Hi, ladies. I'm so happy to be joining you here today. And thank you, Shaliwa, for asking me to be here. I'm going to jump right into the meat of it because we don't have a lot of time. And I want you guys to get as much knowledge as you can on healthy dating. And so one of the first questions that I have is about where to meet men, where to meet the kind of men that you want to meet. You want to meet, you know, maybe somebody successful, maybe men that want to be married. So the first thing that I would do is make a list of the things you want in a man, the character, the morals you want in a man. What does he look like? What type of industry would he work in? So think about those things, start writing your list. Maybe on your list is, I want a man that would be a good father. I want somebody compassionate and loving. I want somebody funny. I want somebody who loves to travel like me. I don't want a homebody. I want somebody who likes music. I want a man who loves God, who will go to church with me. I want somebody that's a good driver. Whatever it is you want, what comes to your mind, put it down on paper, okay? Then you start looking at that list. The second thing that is extremely important that you should do is think about what type of woman would that man be in love with? Would he, and then when you think about this, so I don't want your answer to just be, oh, he would love a woman like me. It's me. Okay. I really want you to think about the words and the characteristics, the same way that we describe this man. You think about what type of woman would he really love? When he calls his mom and says, Mama, I'm in love, I met the one. What is he telling his mama? Is he saying, Mama, she cooked for me. She made me some good food. Mama, she's classy. Mama, I took her to the Christmas work event and she was just so elegant. She respected me. She does the things that I like. She goes to the sports events with me. Whatever it is you think this man would be in love with, I want you to start thinking about that and start comparing those things. Because when I did this years ago, when I was dating, one of the things that I wrote on my list was that my man would like a woman that could cook. And I did not cook. And I grew up around women that cooked, and I knew that I could cook because I'm from the South. And I'm African, so I should obviously be cooking, but I wasn't because I just didn't have a reason. I was a single woman living in LA. I was drinking wine and popcorn for dinner, and I hadn't practiced cooking in years. So if you don't do it, you kind of lose it, right? So I say, you know what? I'm gonna fix that about myself. Every weekend, I'm gonna make a new dish. And I'm gonna practice it till I know how to cook at least 4 dishes that's just bomb. So if I ever have to cook for a man, I'm not scrambling on YouTube to find something. I know what I'm doing, right? So I started cultivating myself to be a better woman in all areas of my life, right? Okay, let's move on to how we meet these men. And what I want to talk to you about and what I want you to really tap into on this call is the way that you think. So a lot of you may not always have me in your back pocket. So that's what I do for my clients. I'm pretty much in their back pocket when they need something, when they need to text me, they need to call me. Kim, what'd you think about this? Kim, how do I respond to this text message? Okay. If you don't have me in your back pocket, I want you to be able to kind of think the way that I'm thinking about this process, right? So let's say that you think the type of man that you would meet is he has a good heart. Maybe you are a woman who lives in Chicago. I know there's women all over the country and all over the world on this call. Let's say you live in Chicago. You know that crime has been an issue in Chicago, and maybe you want a man that is compassionate about that. He is for the community. Where would that man be? He might be at community events. He might be involved with charity organizations that build up young men like him. He may be going to some political campaigns. So right now in Atlanta, I live in Atlanta. We are getting ready to vote for a new mayor. Kasim Reed is running for mayor, and there are countless campaign events going on for him, charity events where we're raising money for Kasim Reed. There are a lot of single men who are very active in the community. And guess where those men are? Yes, yes, yes. They are at those events. They are donating money. They are showing up to change this community. And that's where you should be if you want to meet a man like that, right? If you want to, you say, I want to meet a doctor, then you should be showing up where the doctors are. You shouldn't be going to the same little lounge in your city that plays the music you want to play and they have good wings that you want to eat. So you and your friends always go to that same place, right? You want to think strategically about, where do I need to place myself? Now, if you have pen and paper, take that out, because I'm going to start giving you some places that you can write down where you can meet men, right? And I'm not going to give you the same places of like, okay, you can go to some bars and lounges. You know about that, but I'm going to give you some places that you may not think about. Okay. Private schools. That's a good place to meet men. And if your child is in a private school, you should be thinking that some of those kids have single dads that take care of them. Start thinking deeper about that. How would I meet a man that's a single father, especially if you're a woman who doesn't want to have any more kids? Let's say you've had your kids, you don't want any more, you want to meet a single dad. Okay, so he's taking care of his kids. He's an active father. What about volunteering for your children's field day or a school event at the private school where your kids already go? And you're there at the field day. You go ahead and tell the teachers, you know what, I'll bring the bottled water. I'll bring this at the field day. I'm going to volunteer. And you show up. You look good. You're not there with your raggedy clothes on, right? You show up, you make sure your hair is done, your makeup is done, you look good, and you're out there at field day, being present, being visible, showing up with your good energy. And you might meet the type of man that you want to meet. This is how strategic I'm talking to you about where you should be placing yourself on a regular basis. Not even just, oh, this event is going on in town, let me go. This is an everyday process of where you should be putting you. Okay. All right. So we got private schools, gyms, men that take care of themselves. They work out, they go to the gym. Medical locations. What about volunteering at a medical location that might need some help? So a really good thing, and this was before COVID, because there's a lot that's happened with the hospitals now with COVID, but as we're moving out of this, I want you to still have this in your mind, especially for the ladies that may want to meet a medical professional, right? They're always looking for volunteers at the hospital. And one thing in particular that I really loved and I've done before, they're always looking for people who can hold the babies in the NICU areas, those babies that need skin to skin contact. That will put you at the hospital. It would give you a good reason to be at the hospital on a weekly basis or every other week that you go. You're going to be in a nurturing position. It's also going to help you tap into your feminine energy, because you're holding some babies. You're being very soft and caring with them. Maybe a doctor happens to walk past that door and says, oh my goodness, who is that beautiful woman that is volunteering to hold the babies now? Look at how she's taking care of these sweet babies. I've never seen her before. Maybe he doesn't say anything that day, but maybe when he sees you in the elevator the next week, he says something to you. Okay. This is how small this thing is. You're just putting yourself in these places, right? Let's see. Airport lounges, men like to travel in style, maybe the airport lounge. And even when you travel, if you don't go to the airport lounge, maybe you go to the airport a little bit early instead of rushing to the gate, right? You get there early so you can take your time. You can look around, you can scan and kind of see if you see men that are your type, right? Let's see, resorts. There's some if you're ladies that like to travel, think about some destinations that successful men typically do business in and they travel. One of my favorites is Dubai. A lot of businessmen go to Dubai, Mykonos, Ibiza, Saint-Tropez. Let's see, jazz bars or places in your town that have live music. A lot of people in general enjoy listening to live music. So And music is it's just something that feels good. So people love to do that. So look around for that. Art galleries, men that love art. There's also a lot of men that are art collectors. So I think that's a good thing for you to even get into and visit as well. Exotic car shows, a man that's in the market to buy an exotic car, or a boat show, a yacht show. They have those shows, okay? So Google is your friend. Get on Google, Google it. Oh, is there a boat show coming to my city? Is it a car show coming to my city? What should I do? Should I be a volunteer to work at the car show at the check-in desk? Should I work at the yacht show this year? Should I go and volunteer one day at the yacht show and sit at the front desk so I can check all the men in that are coming to look at boats? Maybe so. Maybe that's a good thing that you should do. Even golf events, golf charity, those charity golf tournaments, I think that's a great place for you to volunteer or just attend if you want. But can you imagine being the woman at the check-in desk who gets to check in, these single men who are coming to play golf, and you get to take them down to the hole that they're going to be playing at and smile and assist them and let them feel your energy and all of that, right? This is putting yourself in the right places. Let's see, cigar lounges. Oh, ladies who, maybe the younger ladies or anybody who is thinking about having another part-time job, or you want to have a side hustle or something like that, right? This is major, okay? If you're going to have a side hustle, maybe not just pick up any side hustle. Think about what type of side hustle can you make money, and you can also put yourself in a place where you can meet successful men, right? So you're doing two things at one time. You're making money and you're in a place where you might meet men. So where, Kim? Where should I go? Okay, I'm glad you asked. Maybe what about a luxury car dealership? Successful men might want to get them a what? A Maserati. So what if you were working at the front desk part-time at the Maserati dealership? So a lot of places right now are looking for people to hire. They cannot find employees to hire, right? Really understand what's happening around us. So this is a great opportunity for you to be able to work somewhere without a lot of experience at the front desk. So one of those places, I would say even a hostess at like a 5-star restaurant, that's a really good one for you as well. Black tie galas, conferences. So the 100 Black Men conference, they are based, the headquarters is in Atlanta, but know where their events are so that you can be somewhere around if they're having an event, because that is a very good one for you to meet some men. What else? Running a marathon. Successful men love to stay active and run marathons. So I think that's a good one. Let's see, polo matches, any major sports events. So the World Series, tennis matches, NFL games, those are good ones. So these are places you can meet men, successful men, pretty much, right? Outside of the normal, just bars and restaurants, okay? So let's move on. Let's move on to conversation skills, because I think that this is really, really important as you are out and you're meeting them. So let's say that you, one night, you say, you know what, I want to go to a nice steak restaurant. I love steak. Men love to have steak. They love going to nice restaurants, and you're by yourself this night. So let's just walk through what that looks like. So anytime you walk into an establishment, an event, anywhere, you want to walk in smiling with good energy. If you need to listen to a playlist before to kind of get yourself, out of that masculine energy, you want to listen to some feminine soft music to make you feel softer. Make sure you do that before you walk in, okay? So that when you enter the place, you're happy. If you are with a friend, you're talking to that person, you have good energy. Why is that important? Because men are hunters. They are always paying attention to us. Men see us the moment we walk through the front door. And when you walk through the door of a space, you have the eyes of the room. Everybody's always checking for who's walking through the door. So when you walk in, you take your time. Don't just walk straight into a place and you go find a seat. Take your time. The men are looking at you now. So take your time with coat check. Let the coat, slide off your shoulders. This is your moment. You smile, greet the hostess at the front, let her know, oh, my name is Kimberly. I have a reservation. This is my friend Amber, or maybe I'm by myself tonight. And you let her know where you want to sit. Okay. Visibility is key. How can your husband find you if he cannot see you? That means you can't stay at home. Right? For all the people that stay at home, you don't go nowhere. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, but he has to see you. So visibility. So what's important for you to do? You look around that steak restaurant and you say, you know what, where's the best place for me to sit tonight so I can be seen? Usually it's probably going to be at the bar if you're by yourself in a steak restaurant. But any place you go, make sure you scan the room and you look for where you should sit and you ask the hostess to sit you in that place. Okay, boom. So you're sitting at the bar. Maybe there's a handsome man sitting next to you. I don't want you to sit there the whole time and never have a conversation with him. So start a conversation right away. Don't let your nerves work you up where you've been silent for so long and now you don't know what to say. Go ahead and break the ice right away. And this is how you start a conversation. I'm gonna give you 4 ways that you can start a conversation with a man that's very feminine. Okay. The first is you can ask for help. So I hope you're taking notes. Ask for help. Ask for his advice. Ask for a recommendation. Or compliment him. Okay, Shaliwa, how am I doing on time? Because I cannot see.
You're doing good. You are at 7:19.
7:19. Oh, I have 10 minutes.
Yep, 10 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So ask for help, ask for his recommendation, ask for advice, compliment him. Now, so we're sitting, I'm here at the bar. This man is next to me. Maybe I turn and say, oh, have you been here before? Or maybe I say, excuse me, it's my first time here. What's the best thing on the menu? It's very confident. I'm just asking for his recommendation, right? Maybe I ask for help. Maybe I say, excuse me, do you know which way the restroom is? Maybe he says, oh, you know what? It's a little difficult to find. Let me show you. Maybe he shows me. Or maybe he says, oh, it's right back there. I smile. I say, oh, thank you. Do you mind watching my seat? I'll be right back. I've asked for help 2 times from this man, right? I don't know him. What does it tell a man when you ask him for help? It tells him, I trust you. I believe you. And I believe you know what you're talking about. And I'm going to take your advice right now. Even the small things, right? It doesn't take a lot for a man. This is also stroking a man's ego too, right? This is the beginning of we're stroking egos, right? So you go to the restroom, you come back. Now, what can you do? Let me give you something else that I wasn't even going to include in here, but because I feel like it fits right here. When you walk back past this man, I want you to just put your hand on the back of his chair as you walk past. So you're sitting at the bar, right? So his chair is probably those high chairs. So you're going to put your hand right on the back of his chair and your thumb is going to graze his back very slightly. It's accidental. You did it on purpose, but it's accidental. What is that? Feminine touch. There's a way that you can touch a man very gentle that he will feel all over his body. That's how close you are to him. He can also smell what? Your perfume when you walk back past him. Okay. So you're going to walk past close behind his chair and graze him. Then you're going to get back in your seat. Then you're going to do what? Now watch what I'm doing. This is how all of this, because the next thing I was going to talk about is body language, right? I'm going to maybe what? Touch my hair. I may touch my chest. I may adjust myself back in my seat. Small things, small things. Okay. Now you can continue the conversation with him. You can say, oh, you mentioned that the lamb chops were good. Should I order those tonight? Oh, yes, that's the best thing on the menu. This is one of my favorite restaurants in Atlanta. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take your recommendation on that. I'm going to get the lamb. You close up the menu right away. Let me tell you, when a man gives you a recommendation or an advice on anything, if you like that man, and if you want anything to happen between you and that man, you have to immediately take his advice. You immediately take his recommendation. You don't even look at that menu anymore because he said it's the lamb. And we're talking about masculine men and we're talking about ego stroking, right? Okay. So I'm not saying that if you don't do this, everything is over. I'm showing you how to get what you want ultimately out of a man. Okay. Because down the line with you dating him, you'll be able to make the calls on the things that you want, but it's about letting him think that he's really leading. Okay. So you order the lamb. When it comes, it smells good. You let him know, oh, thank you so much for your recommendation. This is the best lamb that I've had in the city. This is wonderful. So, by the way, my name's Kimberly. What does that do when you tell somebody your name immediately? By the way, my name is Kimberly. He has to tell me his name. I'm telling him my name. Oh, Michael, it's so nice to meet you. Now, do you see what I'm doing? Instead of sitting, this is body language, instead of sitting straight at the bar, going, oh, I'm Kimberly, by the way. What did I do? I opened up my shoulders. I've opened up my body language. This means I'm interested in you, Michael. I'm touching my chest. I'm being sincere. This is a body language thing. Okay. By the way, I'm Kimberly. Michael. Oh, it's so wonderful to meet you, Michael. Michael, tell me about yourself. I'm eating my food. Do you see how easy, how smooth this is? So when you tell a man, oh, tell me about yourself, this gives him room to say whatever he wants to say. He can tell me anything he'd like to tell me. He might say, oh, well, what do you want to know? You might say, well, what do you do for fun? He can tell me what he does for fun. Okay. I also want you to be able to answer a lot of these same questions. If a man asks you, what do you do for fun? This is very important. I want everybody to take a note on this because a lot of ladies mess this part up. Okay. I want you to be a very good conversationalist with talking to men because this thing here, this is what will take you from being a woman that he just texts or a woman that he's just dating to a woman that he sees as his wife. Okay. It's a big part of it. So when you talk about what you like to do, make sure that you give details. So let me give you two ways of explaining it. So if he says, okay, well, Kimberly, tell me about you now. What do you like? Oh, I like watching movies. I like going hiking. I like swimming. Oh, and I love traveling. That's what I like. Okay, that's okay, right? It's not bad, but that is a masculine way of explaining things. It's short, it's simple, it's that. You don't get any details. I want you to write down details over facts. Details over facts. A feminine woman is detailed about what she likes, especially when it's a topic that she likes to talk about. Who doesn't like to talk about what they like to do? It's a likable question, right? So instead of saying I like swimming and I like hiking, you're just listing them like a dating profile. I want you to give detail. So I would say, oh, Michael, my favorite thing to do is travel. And one of my favorite places that I love to go to is Turks and Caicos. Have you been before? Oh, you have to go. I love the grilled lobster there. So what they do is they grill lobster right on the beach, and they also have live music on the beach. So while I'm laying in my cabana, I can order grilled lobster, and they'll also give you a butler. One of the resorts that I go to, Grace Bay, they assign everybody their own butler. So I can just text my butler when I need more towels, or if I want him to go pick up the lobster for me. And they also do live music right there on the beach. It's such a beautiful place. You see how detailed I am about traveling versus just saying, oh, I like to travel. I'm telling him where I really like to go. And it's also telling him what kind of woman I am. It's me also telling him how to make me happy too. Because men listen, a man that wants to make you happy is listening to what you like. This is also how a man learns how to date you, because you're telling him. If he says, oh, what kind of food do you like? Oh, I mean, I eat a little bit of everything. No, 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 you don't eat everything. You can say, oh, you know what? I'm not a picky eater, but I love seafood. Seafood is my favorite, and then you tell him what it is. If it's crab legs, where's your favorite place to eat in the city? You tell him about that. So I want you, every woman should be able to write a list of all her favorites. Your favorite music artist, your favorite painter, your favorite color, your favorite thing that you like to do. You love hiking. And if you love hiking, you don't just say, I love hiking. My favorite place to hike in the city is, and I love going there because I get to, when I hike all the way to the top, I can see the lake, and I love feeding the ducks. I always take some crackers up to the top with me when I'm hiking so I can feed the ducks. Do you see how interesting that is in conversation versus me just saying, I like to do this, I like to do that? Okay. Now, the only time that you don't give a lot of detail is when it is sensitive things about maybe your previous dating history. So that is when you want to be discreet with certain details. If a man is asking you, oh, well, what happened between you and your ex? Why didn't you and your child's father stay together? Oh, that man wasn't about anything. That man just wanted me to pay all the bills, and I can't believe he didn't want to work. He was unemployed. Mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. You know why? Because this man is not going to judge the man that you were dating. He's judging you. And it's just never a good idea. I won't go all the way into the why, but I'm going to leave that with you because I want to get a little bit more into the other stuff. But I want you to answer that question the same way that you would answer the question when you're asked on a job interview, when they ask you, oh, tell us about one of your weaknesses. You don't really tell them, oh, I mean, I'm always late, or oh, I really don't want to be here. You tell them, oh, well, maybe I am a perfectionist and I like making sure that the job is done, or maybe I take on too much at one time. Okay. That's the vein of where that goes. Okay. I hope you ladies understood that. All right. So let's touch on to body language a little bit, which I was already getting into. Okay. There's 3 places that a woman can touch herself that is a turn on for a man. Okay. And this is probably things you already do. Okay. So I was just doing them a minute ago. I was touching my hair, pushing my hair back. Okay. Touching your hair is very soft, very feminine. If you don't have hair, it could be, the hair in the back, you're pushing it in the back of your head or however. Okay. Another place is putting your hand over your heart or on your chest. Oh, excuse me. Do you mind passing the salt? Or do you mind if I ask where you got that iPhone cover? I think that's so nice. I want to get one for my brother. Touching your wrist. That's the 3rd place. So if you're sitting, you can just, casually put your hand on your wrist. That's a very feminine place as far as body language goes. Another thing with body language is, let's put it this way. So 55% of the way people perceive us is through our nonverbal communication. That is what we look like, our facial expressions, our body language. Okay. So it's important for us to have good body language because men are watching us. It's important for us to be smiling, having fun, having our shoulders back and open. And also, I know it's winter, but did you know that this is a very sexy area for men? They're turned on by this area. What does that mean? It means don't get too many turtlenecks. Okay. As winter comes, I mean, I have some turtlenecks too, but just be conscious. And I know some of you might be in very, very cold areas, and maybe you can have some scarves, and when you get inside at the restaurant, you can take that scarf off, right? So this area is an area that you want him to be able to see. That's the area that you put your perfume and fragrance on, right? Good body language when you're open. When you're sitting across from him, what else? When that man is talking to you, you're not on your phone. You are never on your phone when he's talking to you. You're looking at him. You're listening to him. You're smiling at him, right? And you're leaning forward. When he's telling you, oh yeah, babe, I think that I'm going to open my own electrician business. And I've already done the research on it. I think that, my business, it would be the best, in the city. There's no other business like that in Milwaukee, blah, blah, blah. You're listening, you're leaning in. And what? You compliment him. Jason, you know what? I think that is brilliant. I don't know much about electrician work, but I think that your plan is going to be so successful. You are encouraging his dreams. This is ego stroking. It's very simple. You're not sitting back in your chair when he's talking. No, you're leaning forward and you're listening and you're smiling. Whatever that man is excited about, you're excited about. Okay. Let's see. What do you think about how much time do we have?
So we're a little over 7:30.
Okay.
Do you want to go right into the questions, or you want to finish out your thought?
Let's see. I'm trying to see what other notes I have here. What do you think about? No, I think we can probably go into some of the questions. Yeah, we can go into some of the questions.
Okay.
Are the ladies able to put stuff into the chat or no?
No, because I took all the questions that they already presented when they did the RSVP. So I'm going to read those off. If we don't, if we do have some time left over, then, they could put it in the chat. But we're going to see if we could get through these. So one of the questions were, how do you create an online dating profile to attract an ideal suitor? And what should I not include in my online dating profile?
Okay, the biggest thing you can do is your pictures. Pictures are the most important, okay? And every client that I have worked with, out of everybody, I work with a lot of women, nobody has come to me with the right pictures. No one, no one yet. Okay, these are the type of pictures you need. You need pictures of you having fun. Know what that means? I want to see you actually see you having fun. So instead of, and I'm not saying that other pictures just won't work, because they will, but I'm giving you the best of the best, right? I'm telling you what the best thing for you to put on there. So if it's just, let's say it's a picture of me, I'm making a dating profile and I'm just standing with my hand on my hip and I'm smiling and I'm in a cute dress. Okay. When he hits me up on the dating profile, he might swipe right, like, oh, she's beautiful, let me swipe right. What have I done in that photo to even help him start a conversation with me? Nothing. All he can really say is, oh, you look very beautiful. Can I take you out? You look very nice. I like your smile. It's all physical, right? If I put a picture of me on a boat opening champagne He might say, oh, what are the dating apps? Okay, I can answer that. He might be able to say, oh, I love boats too. What kind of boat was that you were on? Or that looks like you're in Cabo because I can tell by the mountains in the back. Do you love to travel? Or, what type of champagne is that you're opening in the picture? You're giving him something to message you about. So action photos of you doing something. If you need to go to Top Golf and play a round of Top Golf and put some pictures of you playing golf, men that play golf would want to start a conversation with you because they see that photo. So I prefer photos of you actually having fun doing something. It should be something clear, not blurry. You should look good in the photo. I'm not a big fan of the color black. I think that some black is okay. Let me say this, because a lot of people like black. I'm not a big fan of all black, of wearing all black a lot. I know people like little black dresses and all that. I think that some sort of color, whites, nudes, red, look a lot better than just everything being all black. So I will say that too. What was the other question? Oh, what to leave off of your site? I would leave off comments like when you fill out your bio, things that are negative. So I wouldn't say anything negative. So if you're saying like, oh, don't even message me if you live with your mama, or if you do this or whatever, instead of that, I would say, message me if you are this, or this. Message me if you are, or you can say something like, I'm attracted to confident men who are intelligent and compassionate. I would say something like, a man who helps me take off my coat in the winter and opens doors for me would hold the key to my heart. Okay. You are telling him what type of man you like. Okay. And then you also, in the beginning, you tell him if it has a bio. Some of the dating apps, like I think it's Bumble, where you have to answer these specific questions, but some of them you can still put a bio. Tell him about yourself. Oh, I'm a Southern girl who takes too long to get ready sometimes. I enjoy wine. Does this apply to Instagram? Absolutely. Instagram is a dating. I love that I can see the questions. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. Instagram is a dating app too. And if you're not treating it that way, you're doing yourself a disservice. So the only ladies that should not be using Instagram in that way is, if it affects your job, something like that. I have a couple ladies who just can't really do social media too much because of their work. If social media is not going to affect your work, ooh, girl, go ahead, because the ladies I'm working with, they meet a lot of successful men on Instagram. So the things that you should be posting on there, even in the bio, the top thing in your IG, that needs to be strategically done. And I can help you with that too. You can actually, any ladies that want to revamp their Instagram page, you can book a 30-minute session with me and I can look over your Instagram. I'll tell you what to delete, what to leave on there. Men go through everything. So they'll go through all your pictures. They'll read the comments. They'll do all that. So be very careful of old stuff that you have on your Instagram. And make sure that you have photos of you having fun, doing fun things. He should be able to see little snippets of your life.
Next question. So someone wanted to know, if you're having a conversation with a man over and over and over and a date never is planned, how does a woman get a man to actually plan the date?
If that man has not planned a date and you've been having conversation with him, he does not want to go on a date with you.
Okay.
That's the first thing. He doesn't want to go on a date. So you should be asking yourself, what is his motive? Because a man always wants something. So what does he want? If he doesn't really want to date me, what does he see me as? And the way that you can handle it is you also think about, how does this man benefit my life? That's what you should be thinking about as you date men and meet men, because everybody won't be your husband. So I don't want you to date with tunnel vision either. Like, oh, I met this wonderful gentleman and, he's not my husband. I'm never going to talk to him again. No, because he might know your husband. You might meet your husband through him. Keep him. I'll tell you what to do with him. Okay. So, he might not be the one, but you start thinking strategically and you say, okay, I got this man. He is an accountant. He's successful. He's handsome. He's tall. He's my type. But this man has not asked me out on a date. He texts me every day. Good morning, beautiful. Da, 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 da. What's going on? What's going on? You start figuring out, okay, he's obviously not wanting to date me. Something's going on. I'm not going to worry about that. But what can I get from this man? Does he have access to something that I need? And I want you to start asking for things. You will find out very quickly if a man is for you when you start asking for things, because typically a man cannot tell you no. Any man, especially if he wants to sleep with you, he cannot tell you no, because telling you no would end any type of romantic involvement that you can have. So if you are starting to question how a man is feeling about you and whether he is really into you or not, ask that man for something. And it can be something small that you need. Maybe you are not feeling well and you can't drive and you can't get out to get medicine or food or the things that you need. If that man lives in your city and he's been texting you every day, but he can't drop off soup, medicine, whatever, if you feel safe with him, let's say you've been out with him and you feel safe with him dropping something off, he should be doing that. And so this is something that I help my ladies with on a regular basis. So the ladies that get ongoing coaching from me, they can just ask me, Kim, how do I work the situation? What do I do with this man? What do I do with that man? But yes, a man that's been hanging around, an easy way to see if he really wants you, need a favor, need something from him.
That's good. That actually goes into another question. So how long should it take to know if a man is a good fit?
It's hard to put a time limit on it, but you should be analyzing this man and vetting him from the very beginning, from the time you meet him. So how do you vet a man? It's very good. And I think that is something that most women don't do very well. They're not vetting the men. How do you do that? Listen to him. Listen when he talks. Men talk a lot. Most men talk a lot. They'll tell you about all the businesses that they have. They'll tell you about the money that they make. Oh, I'm doing this deal. I'm doing that deal. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. My brother, da, 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 da. Listen, sometimes we're not even listening to the men. He may even tell you, oh yeah, I know I don't want any more kids. If you're a single woman with no kids, you know you want to be a mom. Why would you continue dating this man? You just heard him say that he doesn't want to have any more kids. That needs to end it right there. A lot of times we hang on to situations even after that man has told us something. If he says he doesn't believe in marriage and you want to be married, your next thought is, okay, that's not my husband, but could that man introduce me to my husband? Could he create business connections for my hair company that I started? This is your thought process, right? If you feel like there's no other way that man can be useful in your life, then you don't need him. So as far as how long it takes, it really shouldn't take you that long. I think 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2 weeks. Okay, next question. How should a woman go about to stop attracting the wrong man and attracting the right man? Is there certain things specifically she can do?
Oh, that's a good question. I want to know who asked that question. Attracting the wrong man. So this is a woman who feels like she's attracting the wrong man. The first thing is when you go places, okay, and you move through these spaces, I don't want you just being the prey. So you dress up and you look good and you do all these things and you go out and it's like, oh, why is, the man that I don't want, he's the one coming to me, talking to me. And that is the man that I wanted to talk to me, but I'm getting the wrong ones attracted to me. That doesn't matter. It's not necessarily you. It could be something, but it's not necessarily you because the wrong men are attracted. Some men hit on all the women. That's just what they do. They go out Monday night, they go out Tuesday night, they go out Wednesday night, they go out Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and they hit on women every night of the week. That's what they do. They are always walking up, talking to women. It's very important. And typically those are not even the best men for you to date. Okay. It's better for you to have more control over who comes up to you. That's why when you go out, when you go to an establishment, let's say you're in a lounge, it is Saturday night, you out at a lounge. What should you be doing? Should you be sitting here just talking to your girlfriend, kikiing with your girlfriend and, ordering your drinks, eating your food? No, you also should do what? Pay attention to every man that is in that room. You should scan that room, not staring. You might have to go back and look a second time, but you look at every man in that room. You pay attention to who's wearing rings and who's not wearing a ring. Also, let's say you see 4 men over here. They have a table. They're talking. I can look at that group. I can tell you who is the boss, who makes the most money out that group. I can tell you which one loves attention and he dresses the flashiest. He loves to be seen. I can tell you the man who is more reserved and who is, a little more thoughtful. The man that is not going to talk to every woman that he sees that's fun and has a nice body. Okay, so you want to be more specific about the man that you want. And what you can do is you make eye contact with the man that you want. Don't worry about who's coming up to you. You choose the man that you want, either by eye contact or you find a way to position yourself to be more visible to him. And you can make a conversation with him. You can start a conversation. You remember the things I gave you. You can ask him for help, ask for a recommendation, compliment him. And when I say compliment, it's not a physical compliment. You are complimenting anything but his physical. Okay. So it's not, oh, I found you very attractive. No, you are always complimenting a man on his intelligence. That's very easy to do. Compliment his intelligence. You can say, oh, that's a very nice watch that you have on. Do you mind me asking where you got that from? Or I love asking for help. That's an easy one. If you are out at a cigar lounge, my husband owns a cigar lounge. So many successful men come in there. And so if you are at a cigar lounge for the first time, you and your girlfriend go and buy a cigar and you see 4 gentlemen, they're talking, they're friends. You pick the one that you think is the one for you. You pick him. And maybe when you walk by, you say, oh, excuse me. And you can ask the table if you want, excuse me, does anybody have a lighter? I'm asking for help, right? I have my new cigar. Okay. Oh, you know what? Actually, I need a cutter too. I don't know how I should cut this. Is it this way? Is it that way? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, don't. It doesn't matter, baby girl. Let me help you. Men love to help. So they would take my cigar. They're going to help me do it. They're going to help me light it the right way. Let the man help you. Now you're right here with the men that you wanted to talk to. And now you start making eye contact and really speaking to the man that you have interest in at this table. So to answer that question, it's more so about you having more control over who you're giving that energy to. So I want, whoever that lady was, pay more attention to the man that you want. So don't even worry about the ones that's coming up to you.
That's good. I like that. Okay. And this is going to be the last question. So one of the ladies wanted to know, is there a difference in how you can attract a man that wants to get married versus a man that's just kind of out there wanting to date? And she also wants to know, is there any way to not be in a string along game?
Yes. Okay. The first one, very important, is she's asking about dating marriage-minded men versus men that don't want to be married. Okay. And so it's great when a man tells you, I never want to be married, or I don't really see the importance of marriage. If he says stuff like that, you got to get out. You also want to look at a man's lifestyle. You need to take the responsibility to vet men properly. It's important to know what kind of career he has. You should be able to estimate, if you're dating a man, you should be able to estimate what he makes yearly. If you cannot do that, you book me so we can figure out. You also want to look at his lifestyle, because it's not just about what he makes, but for men, typically before they get married, and I do recommend that you guys listen to Steve Harvey's audiobook, The Think Like a Man, because he explains in detail a little bit about how men think. And I love, there's a part in the book in the beginning that he explains that men need to be more settled in their careers before they get married. And I think it's absolutely true. If a man is telling you, you meet him and he says, I'm going to school, I'm in school to do this, to do that, well, typically he's not looking for a wife yet, because he's not where he needs to be or where he wants to be before he's ready to have a family and take a wife as a responsibility. A man who is more settled in his career and he's not trying to do a lot of change with his career, he has the capacity and he is probably in a place where he can have a wife. So you want to analyze the man's career. Very important with trying to see if this man is even ready for a wife. And also look at his living situation. Where is he living? Does it look like he can have a wife yet with whatever situation he's in living wise? If he has a weird living situation, he's probably not anywhere near to thinking about he can have a wife yet. How do you find out how he's living? If that man's never invited you to his home and you've been dating him for any significant amount of time, you need to figure out where he's living at. Get yourself over there. An easy way to do that is to say, oh, hey, babe, I want to surprise you today. I'm bringing you lunch. Today. Let's say he works from home. He works from home. Tell that man you're bringing him some lunch. I'm just going to drop it off. I don't have a lot of time. I have a 2:00 Zoom meeting that I have to jump on, but I wanted to bring you something. And you go up, you gave him the warning, so he knows you're coming. So it's not like you're, just doing a drop in. So he can get his place clean and straight for you to come there and drop him off some lunch. Come up, go to his place and look around. Why is that important for you to see where a man lives? You need to see if another woman lives there. And this is important because it's a person that you're giving your time, your energy to, and you can also fall in love with men very easy and very quickly when we're talking to them. So it's important for you to know about them. So yeah, you're looking around, make sure that it doesn't look weird. You don't see, what if you see a baby car seat over here, but he told you he doesn't have kids? Okay, so it's important for you to just vet men properly. I think you asked me 2 questions. What was the second part of that question?
The question was, how do you distinguish, like, if a guy wants to date for marriage, and then also how do you prevent them from being strung along?
Another very big clue is if this guy is dating for marriage, he asks different questions than a man that's just getting ready to string you along. You're going to know right away. If you've been getting strung along by some men that haven't wanted anything, and then you meet a marriage-minded man, it's different from day one. That man is already asking, oh, what kind, do you like to live in the suburbs, or you like to live in the city? What kind of house would you live in one of my clients went out with a guy last week. Guess what he asked her on the first date? He said, how important is money for you when you are choosing a man that you're going to date? And she said, oh my goodness. And she's like, Kim, I think I answered that question right. I think I did, because he kind of took me by surprise because it was the first date. And I said, money and finance is very important to me because I want my family to be able to live comfortable. I want, to send my kids to the schools that they want to go to and this and that, And so he said, I appreciate your honesty. I think that, women wanting to be financially secure in their marriage is a good thing. Okay. So he was talking about those things right away. I think that men may talk about, oh, you have a son, you already have a child, would you want to have more kids? He needs to know because maybe he wants to have more kids. Men are already, I'm going to tell you what men do very good. Men date well for the most part, most men, because they start asking these questions right away. And you'll know if a man is serious because you'll be like, oh my goodness, he ain't even playing. This man is not playing with me. He is going in with the question. So that's how I think that. And then to know if you're being strung along, if you never talk about anything of significance, if it's only just the fun stuff or it's only physical, he's not taking you out on dates. This is a very good time of year to figure out if it's serious or if it's not, honey, because what's getting ready to happen for Thanksgiving? Is he introducing you to the family? Is he coming to meet your family for Thanksgiving? Has he even brought that up? Where are you spending Christmas? What did he get you for Christmas? You should also, if you're dating a man, this is the time you should be dropping them hints for what you want for Christmas, baby. Make out your Christmas list today and start telling him what you want. Oh, I can't believe my favorite air fryer just broke, babe. Whatever it is you need, it's time to drop all those hints for these gifts because Christmas is coming. What's after that? Valentine's Day. And that's when we start to learn real quick because you can really only spend Christmas with one woman, Christmas Day.
Okay, that's good. So I just want to take this time, Kimberly, to thank you. You gave us so many valuable tips to dating healthy. I know I learned a lot. I took a lot of notes. I'm pretty sure the ladies also took some notes. But at this time, if you could just share how people can get in contact with you, with the services you provide, and I'm also going to type it into the chat so people can get that information.
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram. My Instagram is Girl Got It All. So follow me there. And then there is a place that you can book me. I love working with ladies one-on-one. So I have a 30-minute phone session that you can book and we can talk about anything. So if you want to prepare for a date and you just want some quick tips for this date, a guy is taking you out and you really think that there's an opportunity between you and him you want to talk about. If you just want to talk to me about your situation in general and talk to me about, working with me and what that would look like, what I could offer to you, the things we should work on, whether that is more femininity. Kim, I just feel like I'm kind of stuck in my masculine energy and my guy friends have told me that before, and I feel like they're right. So I want to get rid of some of my masculine energy and be more feminine. We will work on getting rid of all of that masculine energy. If you want to work on communicating better with men or, your social skills or, anything, we can work on all those sessions together. I love those 30-minute sessions because you can just get so much in a short amount of time, even if it's a dating situation that you're going through right now. Let me tell you this, the best time to meet a new man is while you still have a man. And I know that's a little bit tricky, but there may be some women on here that are already in relationships or you're already in something and like your gut, something is telling you is not the situation for you and it may be ending whenever. I would rather you go ahead and start working with me now because we can get you in the right mind frame so that you're ready to date and you're not having to go through this whole healing process once that relationship is over too. So you can book that right on my Instagram page. It says book now. So you can click that, and I have different sessions you can choose from. I do phone sessions. I do video sessions, which are really good for helping you with body language, learning how to move your hands in a more feminine way so that you don't come off masculine. We work on voice, we work on facial expressions, all those things. To get a new job, you got to have a job. Oh, okay. I don't know who put that, but yeah, I mean, I thought for some reason something was like, just tell them that, because I feel like somebody on here, I'm very intuitive, like I just feel things. So I feel like somebody on here is in a relationship that hasn't been going well. And if it hasn't, you already know before you know. Women know when the breakup is coming, right? So get yourself in position already so that that's a smooth transition, and you can let that relationship go and welcome something new for you.
Thank you. So again, Kimberly, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for this evening. Thank you for all the information. Thank you for taking the time out to share this with us. And on behalf of 5 Star Women of Color, we want to thank everyone who attended this evening, and we hope you have a great rest of the weekend. Good night.
Thank you so much, Shaliwa. Thank you for having me. Thank you, ladies.